Welcome to the Lead Pedal Podcast with your host, Bruce Outridge, where he talks all things trucking. Now let's get rolling.
How's everybody doing today? Welcome to an edition of the Lead Pedal Podcast. I'm your host, Bruce Outridge, and today we're going to be talking about diversity in trucking. And I got to tell you, this is something we really need to take a look at. We're going to be sharing with you a presentation that Leo Barros did at the PTAC in Toronto. And he was talking about diversity. You guys know Leo, but I'll tell you right about it right after I tell you about a fleet that's probably one of the most diverse in Canada. That's Bison Transport. That's right. They've got all kinds of people working for them because everybody loves working for them. That's right. They've got terminals all across the country. They are looking for drivers out of their Calgary, Mississauga, and Winnipeg terminals right now. So if you've got a good driver's license, you've got a commercial license that's clean, you got a good attitude, you're safety minded, they certainly want to talk to you. Go to bisondriving.com. You can learn about all the different things that they got going on, different job opportunities right there, because I know you're going to love it. All right, let's get into today's thing. So today we're going to be talking about diversity in trucking. I found this to be very, very I'm very passionate about it. There's been I don't have to tell you, right? If you're on social media at all, then you know the crap that's been going on. And with ICE and all of these things happening in the States and drivers here, and our countries are made up of immigrants for the most part. And, it's the way things are going, I feel like we're going back to 1965. I don't know if that bothers you at all. It certainly bothers me as somebody who's, I was born here in Canada, but my parents came up the year before I did from Guyana. So I look Filipino, Guyanese. I'm Guyanese, but Filipino, whatever it is. Whatever you want to call me is basically what I've got. I'm confused about that a lot. I've missed a lot of the bad stuff that happened in the 60s, because in the 70s is when I was going to high school, but I have been racially profiled in the past. I've been had a lot of jokes about me a lot of times, and all of these things have always played on my mind, but I've always kind of laughed them off. I've been able to laugh them off. I've had a lot of friends who people just don't know, right? But it's going to a new level nowadays. And this came out of PTAC held a Toronto presentation to talk about diversity in the transportation, specifically in the training industry. Leo is with Today's Trucking. You guys know Leo. He's been around for a long time with Newcom. He's a former driver himself. He's also an immigrant. He's from India, and he's also a lawyer, and he's also a well-respected columnist. So he's done a lot of stuff. I see Leo all the time at events. Great guy. We're usually sitting at the same table. And really what needs to happen is he's right on so many fronts. You're going to hear in this presentation what he did was so well done. And I mean, I could feel for it. He's experienced it. I've experienced it. And now people are just putting color to everything. They're not even looking at who the person is or what they're doing. It's a wrong way for us to be going, especially in today's world, especially with more immigrants coming out. I just did an event the other day. I was doing an event for something else, and it was a manufacturing company, and I could tell you how many white people were there. So who's doing those jobs? It's not like there. If you look at the stats for employment, there's not enough jobs being filled. So we need to just figure out how to. There's other issues with coming to Canada, and Leo says so in his presentation. He worked 5 jobs. I remember my dad, when I was growing up, he always had 3, 4, 5 jobs. He never just worked one job and came home and sat around the house. He came around, he finished one job, and he went to another job, and he did everything from washing cars to taxis to everything. And my dad was a well-respected accountant at the end, but really, a lot of immigrants go through that. And I like the way he said that Canada doesn't owe anything. Anyway, I'm not going to go over his speech because I'm going to let him do it because he did it so well. Anyway, here we go, my friends. We're going to give you a little bit of that presentation from PTAC with Leo Barros talking about diversity in the workplace. You certainly want to make sure that you are into this one for sure. Before we go, let me tell you a little bit about Compliance Mentors. They are really all about safety. This team here that stretches across the country, based out of Ontario, Alberta, and BC, are not just about compliance and making sure that your company is looking good on the books. The leaders have a passionate connection, and you need to go and hear the story I did with the Gitu Mahajan about this, because Her story is critical to you understanding why your drivers need to go safe. So, you know what? They've got a lot of services that can help you, but they've also got the passion behind those services, and you want to make sure you check it out. So by going to compliancementors.com, you're going to find out exactly how they can help you and make your fleet safer. And I can tell you, it's not just about the money. And listen to the rest of this presentation, you'll understand why it's not just about the money. All right, my friends, let's get in the presentation with Leo Barros from today's Trucking on diversity in the workplace. And his technical title for that was paying attention to diversity and inclusion. That's Leo Barros, today's Trucking. Are you ready? That's right, I'm ready. Let's get on with it. Here we go.
By far my favorite station.
You're the best. Oh, yeah.
I love you guys.
My name is Leo Barros. Immigrant, truck driver, journalist, lawyer by training. So it's nice to see this rainbow of colors out here. Normally when I go to a room, it's mostly white. Kim knows that. Where's Kim? He's there. Anyways, this kind of reflects what the trucking industry, especially in the GTA, is right now. Maybe slightly more, but this is what it is. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, PTAC, IHSA, for this opportunity to speak over here and share my thoughts. It's kind of weird where the front benches are empty, just like school, right? So we're going to be a little interactive over here. And I need some feedback from this room. Any immigrants in the room? Raise your hands. Immigrants, come on, guys. Hands up. Wow, pretty good. Okay.
Yeah.
How many truck drivers in the room? Come on. Whoop, whoop. Pretty good. Okay. Now let's switch. How many of you have kids in the room? The most important question. How many of your kids want to be a truck driver? Crickets? Silence? So who's going to drive your trucks? Any answers? Immigrants.
Autopilot.
That stage 5 is a long way. Stage 5 is a long way. Who's going to drive a truck, guys? Immigrants. I asked these same questions at the Fleet Safety Council in London about 2 months ago. There were 2 immigrants in the room, me and one other guy. There were many more over here. So let's be clear about this. Immigrants choose to come to Canada. Canada owes you nothing. What you do here is on your own accord, right? Personally, Canada has been welcoming to me. At the start, every immigrant has a story. I came with $200. I was pushed back over here. I could not find a job. Many of us have the same experience. Personally, in my first year, I had 5 T4 forms, 5. I did 5 jobs. Nobody looked at what I could bring to the table. You're an immigrant, you need Canadian experience. We've all had that, right? But now, many of you in the room, I'm talking to the immigrants here, you have moved along. This is your chance to speak up, let people hear what you have to say, right? Also, on the flip side, there are a few people who give immigrants, a community, a bad name, and we all know that. They don't play by the rules for whatever reason. And then a whole community gets tainted by that same brush, right? So, immigrants, have you heard this one? Go back where you came from. Who has heard that? I have. Anybody else? No? In my first year, I was at Jack Darling Park in Mississauga, and 2 kids told me go back home. and I had no answer. If they ask me now, I'll say I'm heading straight back to Milton. That's where I live. Right? I write stories which are sometimes controversial. People don't agree with what I say. And then we get comments. These are these keyboard warriors who will say, deport them. Do you know who they are? You don't know if they're Canadian, if they're PR. Deport them to where? Who's gonna, or they see someone's name, I'm gonna be very blunt now. If they see a Singh, send them back to India. The Singh has been here for the past 20 years. Send him back to India, really? We have become insensitive now, right? Because we can say stuff hiding behind a keyboard. We live in very volatile times. Immigrants are in the spotlight in the US and here, right? Who has heard about the fatal the crash in Florida? Everybody, right? So you have an illegal, as they call them, alien, making an illegal U-turn. 3 people died. When trucking makes the headlines, mostly it's for the wrong reasons. Unless it's like when I work in the trucking media, we talk about trucking, but in the mainstream media, if trucking does come in the headlines, it's for the wrong reasons. And that's not a good thing. Now let's think, if this truck driver was from Canada, and it was a Canadian truck, what would the implications be for the industry as a whole? As it's a lot of food for thought out there to think about things like this, right? So there are social media feeds of videos, pictures, and the focus is mostly on diverse drivers doing stupid things, crazy things on the road. And so immigrants are in the spotlight. Now, for everybody here, since your office is out on the road, on the highway, shippers, receivers, wherever you go, and more importantly, in the eye of the general public. So you are a target, and especially if you are an immigrant driver, the target's on your back. So you have to be on your best behavior. Switching over, all the good work that is being done sometimes does not make the news. You've got excellent companies here with great safety records, right? They are doing this, they work day and night. Your goods are coming in, no one knows about it. It's a problem when something happens. Drivers, delivering freight through bad weather, day, night. So I was heading to Hanover, about 2 hours north of here, and there were so many trucks on the road. And I like to think, who's driving this truck? Where's he going? These guys are working. You might be sitting in your office sipping a cup of coffee. These guys are working. They're hauling loads all the time, right? Safely. People in the warehouses, and very importantly, driving schools. There are driving schools that are doing the right thing, training people the right way. You hear, I write about fly-by-night schools. I write about people not doing the right thing, but the majority of people are following the rules. They're doing the things the way things have to be done, and nobody recognizes that. So a few individuals, companies, maybe driving schools, are tainting a whole community, immigrants, and the industry. This is a highly visible problem. And as I said, the same brush is being used to taint a whole group of people. So here we have a group of people doing the right thing, and that's why you guys are here. So my take is, speak up. Don't let the problematic folks define you, your company, who you are, right? You are examples of what is right and proper, so make some noise about it. Don't sit on the sidelines. Join a group of people, join an organization where your voice will be heard. Because if you sit on the side and just, whisper or grumble about it, it's not going to help you. Use social media. It's a fantastic way to spread the word within your community, your groups, that you're doing the right thing, right? Personally, I'll say this. Integrate, assimilate, while nurturing your culture, traditions, and your self-worth. right? We can all change and be good examples. I'm going to end with what I think is a very important message. So a couple of days ago, I was at the Women's Trucking Federation of Canada's Bridging the Barriers. Who was there? Yeah. So Kelly Cooper, she's from Loblaws, and she had a very important message for being inclusive, and she was talking about women, but I would say this is for everybody. Don't let the assholes win.
All right, that was a great presentation by Leo for sure. Hope you got a lot out of that. Hey, let me tell you about a great training school that you're going to get a lot out of too. That's Ontario Truck Driving School. They've got 9 locations throughout the province of Ontario, and heavy equipment, truck training, and bus and more to help you get your career started. They even have a new construction course, so check them out at OntarioTruckDrivingSchool.com. You can go to OTDS.com to find out all about their courses and for a location near you. And I got to tell you, they're a premium school, been around since 1978, so you know that they got your best interest at heart. All right, my friends. Hey, you know what? That was a great presentation. Check out our you can check out our YouTube channel, subscribe wherever you are on whatever podcast platform you're listening to, and check out PTAC at pttac.ca. And of course, you guys know where to get hold of today's trucking. Go to newcom.ca. Newcom.ca, newcom.com. All right, we'll talk to you guys later. Be good out there. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Should leave it wide open for you.
This has been another episode of the Lead Pedal Podcast. For more information or to subscribe to the podcast, visit theleadpedalpodcast.com and be sure to follow the podcast on Facebook and Twitter.